Alright, in problem number 38, we're trying to find A here. Problem number 8. So we need to figure out which side is which. So this is the hypotenuse, this is the opposite, which means this is the adjacent. Which of my three trig functions uses opposite and adjacent? That would be tangent. So the tangent of 38 equals the opposite over the adjacent. So we multiply both sides by 15, and then we have our answer, which rounded to the nearest decimal is 6.3 equals A. For part B, it asks another question where this is 38 and this is 25, and we have a right angle and we need to solve all three of these that we have left. So A is 38 and B is 25. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 38 squared plus 25 squared equals C squared. So when I find this out, I got 45.5 equals C, because it was the square root of 2609. And so when we got 45.5 over here, and that's 45.5. Now, to find out what angle A is, since this was the opposite and this was the adjacent, I know that the tangent of angle A equals 38 over 25. So when we do inverse tan of 38 over 25, we get the answer of 56.7. When we subtract off the other two angles from 180, we will get angle B, because we know that a triangle has 180 degrees. So we have 33.3 is our answer for angle B. Alright, this is our first of the non-right triangles. And so to find the third angle, I'm going to subtract off the two angles I know from 180 again, because the triangle has 180 degrees and angle A equals 99 degrees. So at this point, we're going to use our law of sines. So we got the sine of 99 over underneath 10, and the sine of 49 underneath B. So then when I multiply both sides by the sine of 49, I will get my answer. And so the answer is 7.6 for B. Now, we're going to do this again with C, except for instead of the right side being B, we're going to use C over the sine of 32, which means I'm going to multiply both sides by the sine of 32, and we'll get our answer. And so this one is 5.3. When trying to find the area and we're given two sides and the angle in between them, we have the formula 1/2 times A times B times the sine of angle C. Now, in this particular case, this is the angle we're given, so even though it says sine of angle C, that's still going to go there. You don't necessarily use the angle that they have. So I'm going to do 1/2 times 12 times 6 times the sine of 34, and that's going to give me my area. And that turns out to be 20.1. For problem number 11, we want to know how many angles or how many triangles go with this situation. And so I'm going to do the sine of 145 over 5 and the sine of angle B over 10. And so when I multiply both sides by 10, we wind up with the sine of angle B equals 1.14. Now, when I try to do the inverse sine, remember this can't be any higher than 1, so the answer is going to be 0 triangles. Alright, for this one, I can't use the law of sines, so I have to use the law of cosines. So I'm going to do 6 squared plus 8 squared minus 2 times 6 times 8 cosine of 62 equals a squared. So the nice thing about all of this is that I can nice and easily fit this into my calculator. So a squared turns out to equal 54.9. And when I square root, I wind up with a equals 7.4. Once I get 7.4, I'm going to find angle B because angle B is smaller. So I'm going to, over here, go the sine of 62 over 70.4 equals the sine of angle B over 6. And I need to multiply by 6 on both sides because that 6 will cancel. I wind up with 0.7159 equals the sine of angle B. So angle B is equal to 45.7. Now for angle C, I'm going to do 180 minus 62 minus 45.7, which is 72.3. And then I have solved the triangle. Alright, we're trying to find the area here. So the first thing we have to do is find the semi-perimeter, which is 1/2 A plus B plus C. And when I plug that in my calculator, we're going to wind up with 10.5. So then I'm going to do the square root of 10.5, 10.5 minus 4, 10.5 minus 7, and 10.5 minus 10. Which winds up to be the square root of 119.4. And when I square root the answer, I get 10.9. Number 14 will be the last one for this one. A flag is 100 feet from the base of a building. So we're 100 feet away. The angle of elevation from the bottom of the building to the top of the flag is 54 degrees. How tall is the flag? Well, if we use the fact that this is the hypotenuse and this is the opposite and this is the adjacent down here, we wind up using the tangent. Tangent of 54 equals x over 100. So I can multiply both sides by 100. And we get 137.6 equals x, and that's how tall the flag is. And that'll be it for this review lesson.